gave a talk yesterday, and somebody, of course, the first question, which I get all the time, is, are you going to be able to repeat what Coach O did this fall? Are you going to be able to repeat it this spring? And I told everybody, absolutely. I promise you we're going to win 15 games or more this year, okay?
Welcome to Scoreboards. I am Jonathan Poche. He's Buddy Songy. This is Tigers Roar. Thank you for tuning in. We have a lot on today's program. Yes, it's basketball season. LSU Tigers take on the Alabama Crimson Tide tonight at the PMAC, which you saw Paul Maneri right there in the opening clip. Baseball season has officially started. LSU will take on Indiana February 14th in Alex Box, but it's time to get those pitchers and catchers warming up. All the players get those swings right. Coach Maneri was fired up about Maurice Hampton, a football player that also plays baseball. We'll hear a lot from Coach Maneri here on today's program. I want to bring my co-host, Buddy Songy, here on a Wednesday evening. Good to see you, Bud, man.
Good to see you, JP. Hope everybody is getting tired of this cloud cover and rain. I think we're all ready to get it out of here. It is the final Wednesday in the month of January. Hope you're having a great start to the new season. How about Maneri? I mean, my buddies, Mike and his brother used to have the Funny Bone. Coach Maneri trying to get a gig at the Funny Bone, saying, my team's going to win 15 games or more, all kidding aside. This is interesting. Their preseason 10, 11, or 12 last year, if you remember, preseason number 1. Right. I think he will flourish in this role of maybe not being picked so high versus 10, 11, 12. As always, the SEC is very good. Big basketball game tonight. You want to beat Alabama in everything. And
That's
tonight
right.
You're playing them in hoops at 6 o'clock on ESPN2. By the time you see this, you will know. Well, I guess we can't say you'll know because it comes down to the last bit with this basketball team. But obviously a big one for Will Wade. They have won 22 of 24 in the SEC. And then, of course, Bo Pelini being named the defensive coordinator out at LSU will broach that subject. And at some point, we'll throw in tidbits about the loss of Kobe Bryant, which obviously has gone global. Everybody's got a story about Kobe, guy who skipped the colleges and did it at an unbelievable classy way for 20 years. Yes, he had some baggage in the closet like all of us, but was... it's amazing. When you just say one guy's name, Magic, Shaq, Kobe, it goes to show you the magnitude of that man. So all of that, and of course, as you said, wrapping up today with some LSU Baseball Media Day stuff from Coach Maneri out at LSU earlier this week.
We also had some LSU gymnastics that just took on Florida, #2 team in the nation. You predicted they'd break the 197. They did, got the season high, but still got defeated. Florida was outstanding. They had girls that were nearly perfect. LSU did have a perfect 10 from on beam by the freshman we talked about last week, Ms. Kaya Johnson. That's a name you should get to know right away. She's an all-around freshman, but she can bring it on the mat.
She is going to be unbelievable. Kaya Johnson, her first 10 at LSU. There'll be many more. By the way, the star for Florida, Trinity Thomas, got her first 10 ever. And how cool is this? You go to Georgia, Bama, LSU, Florida, all these places, 10, 11,000. SEC really draws well with gymnastics. And so LSU men's hoops tonight against Bama. And then Friday night, LSU hosting the ladies from Crimson Tide Land in Alabama, 7:15 in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. Get on over there and be part of it. And I do like the fact that this young team is getting better, but she's dealing with a lot of the same problems LSU defense had early in the football season.
That's right.
Injuries, and so we'll hope that Sarah Edwards and others will come back quickly.
Also at the Super Bowl this weekend, the Chiefs take on the 49ers. Pat Mahomes versus Jimmy Garoppolo, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, a lot of storylines. What do you think? There's 5 Tigers playing in the Super Bowl, 4 for the Chiefs, and 1 for the 49ers, Quan Alexander. On the other side, you have Matthew, Claiborne, Ware, and Williams. So some LSU flavor in the Super Bowl. Who do you take, the 49ers or Chiefs?
2 great songs. Growing up, I left going to Kansas City, here I come, and I left my heart in San Francisco. I'm pulling for the Chiefs, not just only because they've got more LSU flavor, But I don't know. 49ers not even throwing the ball 10 times to beat Green Bay.
Right.
Obviously, they beat the Saints. And I've said this on numerous occasions. Had Mr. Cook not gotten that concussion on the second touchdown, I think the Saints may have won that game and obviously had a chance for home field. But San Francisco and Garoppolo, Kyle Shanahan, he is the guy, along with the Atlanta Falcons, that blew that 25-point lead to New England in the Super Bowl a few years ago. And, of course, Andy Reid was there one other time before with Philadelphia. So both these coaches will get their first one. Quan Alexander is a great story for San Francisco. I'm going with the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs, and I would imagine that after they win, Andy Reid will consume somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 15,000 calories in the next day or two after that game.
I'm a big fan of Andy Reid. He deserves a championship. He's done a lot for the game of football, a lot for the offensive side of the football, all around the league. People copycat league, obviously, but Andy Reid has been an innovator on offense, things he did in Philadelphia. But goes to the Chiefs. I'm a big fan of Pat Mahomes, what he's able to do in the pocket and outside the pocket with his legs. I do like the 49ers defense. They're able to get to the quarterback, and they will need to get pressure on those DNs led by Bosa on Mahomes if they have a chance to win this game.
You know, I know this sounds crazy because everybody knows about Mahomes, and, you know, he put up incredible numbers at Texas Tech, but something reminds me with Pat Mahomes a little bit of Joe Burrow. Can use the legs, all these release points, he throws it sidearm. He just is one of those guys that really takes the quarterback position to another level. So I'm pulling for those guys. As you alluded to, special teams and defense really good. San Francisco trying to win it the old-fashioned way, the old Les Miles way of not too much on offense, but they did have a running back score 4 times. So we'll wait to see. That is Sunday, 5:30. And once again, if you're going to parties, remember you probably need to leave at halftime because if you stay around the whole night, you're bringing your kids home at 10 o'clock to get them home on a school night.
That's right.
We'll wait to see. But in Miami, always a lot of fun over there.
The Pro Bowl was this past Sunday. A lot of Saints flavor in that game. They had 11 guys selected either as starters or alternates for the Pro Bowl. Drew Brees did get a touchdown first quarter to Jared Cook. He wasn't supposed to start, but Russell Wilson, who was a very classy guy, gave his star position up to Drew Brees. He always said that Drew Brees was kind of like his idol. It's good to see Drew play. Speaking of Drew, there's been a lot of talk about is he coming back or isn't coming back. He says he's going to take some time to decide next month after he talks to his family a bunch of times about, is this right for him and his family to keep playing? Now at 41, he'll be 42 next season. The Saints have said that they wanted him, if he wants to come back, they want him back with open arms. Sean Payton has also said that his heir apparent is in the building, and his name is Taysom Hill.
I think that at some point in the month of February, we will be talking about 2 years and $65 million. I think he's going to get $32.5 million for 2 years. Quite frankly, Drew has never, ever had to go cheap for the team. He's never done that. He's worth that. Is he slowing down? Yes. Do you need to? The one play that really irritated me about Drew Brees, and I know if you talk to him off the record, he'd admit it, but when you get inside the red zone and you see pressure coming in, you got to throw the ball. I don't care if you throw it in the ground or throw it at the screen receiver's feet or whatever, but losing that turnover right around the 20-yard line I thought was a big impetus for them losing that game. And let's be honest, you got to keep him standing up vertical to get your money's worth from him. I didn't see a sense of urgency from the Saints in that particular game. And let's also be honest with this. They've got to get Mike Thomas some help with some other secondary receivers. Now, like I said, I think Cook had a good year, but Ted Ginn and Traquan Smith and all that, they've got to get a few more receivers that can give Thomas and Brees a little bit of breathing room, even though when people know they're going to him, he still is tough to stop.
The AFC did win the game, but the Pro Bowl was really overshadowed by the passing of Kobe Bryant. The coverage was interrupted. The story had just broken about 30 minutes before kickoff in Calabasas, California. You've heard about it already by now. Definitely Kobe Bryant, a legend for 20 years in the NBA, played for the Lakers. You mentioned his complex past. He did have some baggage, some things off the court, but you cannot take away his competitive mentality. The Mamba mentality was one of a kind. I mean, he outworked whoever was around him, and that's really what you want from your leader, your superstar, to give the work in the gym, not during the game, but at practice.
You know, as soon as I read it on the internet, actually, before it broke everywhere, and I'm going like, man, if this guy is messing around, people are going to light him up. Well, unfortunately, 5 minutes later, it did come to fruition. And I will say this, look, 20 years, but he was such a global person. They loved him in China, they loved him everywhere, and he did a great job of being an awesome example for basketball at all levels. His daughter, he was bringing his daughter up, she was going to be fantastic. And obviously him and Shaq. The sad part about it, him and Shaq have had their ups and downs, and obviously it affected the big fella. You know, to score 60 points in your last game goes to show you just how good he was. But I tell you, it's one of those things that brought back for me some temporary memories of losing Carly McCord, which, of course, as we all know, I know Steve Ensminger Jr. is still, you know, praying to God to get strength to live every day the best of his life after losing his loved one and wife. And I know, you know, Steve, the offensive coordinator at LSU, certainly had a purpose to bring home a championship after her loss. But just the way it happened in Lafayette that morning, going to the game, the Peach Bowl, and then the way this happened, I don't understand these people wanting to get up in the air with all this fog, helicopter, small plane, whatever. I'm not crazy about it, but it brought back memories of losing Carly McCord. And obviously, we know that Kobe will forever be etched in stone as one of the greatest.
Right, there's a lot of talk about who's better, MJ, Kobe, LeBron. Yeah, that comparison is fun for the bar when you talk about it, but really, we haven't seen anything in the NBA close to Michael Jordan until Kobe Bryant. He was doing a lot of the same things. He could dunk, he got a shot from wherever he wanted, and that mentality to win games when nobody thought they could. He put the team on his back and dominated, and that's really what a superstar needs to do.
Well, and he prepared. Not only did he play offense, he wasn't just an offensive guy. He played defense. He did all of his prep work, and he did such a great job of letting what he knew, and what he believed in to his daughter and everybody else that was around him. So the consummate, hey, he was making a ton of money off the court, and obviously Nike and all the other sponsors that he had. But look, when you say Kobe, one of those guys that, like Shaq and Magic and all the others, everybody knows who you're talking about. So certainly a real, and it's amazing when you have these deaths to people. And you don't know, you know, I never met him, you never met him, had a relationship with him, but it's something about it just puts that crawl back in your belly about, folks, if you're out there and you're feuding with your cousins or your mama or your in-laws or whatever, life is too short.
That's right.
Enjoy it, make up with somebody. I think Shaq did a great job of this on TNT, but life's too short to carry those grudges into the casket.
One more thing about Kobe, his legacy. He was an advocate for women's sports, for girls' sports. He wanted his daughter to be a WNBA player. He supported WNBA wholeheartedly, the women's soccer team for the United States. A lot of different feelings were spilling out all over social media for Kobe, not just on the basketball court, which he was one of the greatest, but outside of the court, after his retirement, his transition into being really a father, a great father for his daughters, an author, a producer of movies. He won the Academy Award for his short animated film for writing and narrating Dear Basketball. It was great. He deserved the award. Kobe had a lot more to give to this world. Gone too soon. Budman said it great. Make up with the ones that you think it's a big deal right now, because you never know which day will be your last. And look, don't take it for granted. It is a blessing to leave your house, get to your destination where you're going, and make it back home to your family. Something we take for granted every single day, but it truly is a blessing.
Yeah, and you know, one other thing, we talk about hoops and we talk about all the controversy in China and all the other things. This man was revered everywhere he went. And Kobe was one of the few guys that started to say, he named about 3 players in the WNBA and said these ladies could play at the NBA level, and nobody had ever said that. And as soon as Kobe started to say that, it gave a lot more validity. And I don't watch enough WNBA to know. We know the physical differences and the strength and all the other things, but as you alluded to, great proponent of women's basketball, and he certainly will be sorely missed. As we mentioned, LSU basketball plays tonight against Alabama in the PMAC. Their last game, they won. They're 6-0 in the SEC, 15-4 overall. The Cardiac Kids. I mean, every game comes down to the wire. They will be playing later tonight.
We tape here at Scoreboards about 5:45 on a Wednesday, so by the time you see this, as you mentioned, buddy, the game will probably have already come to a conclusion. Will Wade said Alabama has elite guard play and elite speed, so that's kind of the game plan LSU wants to have. They're not really big, so they want to beat you in the transition and get some good, easy buckets.
Well, I just want to warn everybody out there, and we do a great job of talking about Man-Defied Meats because they are a great sponsor for us for many, many years. But I gave Coach Wade some spicy sausage this week, and I had no idea he was going to eat it for breakfast because when he met with the media Monday, he was wound up, and you could tell the spicy taste of the Manda sausage had him fired up, and he is sick and tired of LSU blowing these 10-point leads and then struggling. A lot of us, including myself, we had to color our hair after all of these gray hairs that this team put on us. But hopefully they can make it a little bit easier, and this is why you don't gamble. I want to say it was the Florida game a couple weeks ago, and LSU is favored by 3.
Right.
They've got a 10-point lead
11.
with about a minute and 10 left.
Yep.
Florida hits 3 balls, LSU wins by 2, and LSU doesn't cover. That's why they call it gambling, folks. If you had LSU that night, you had the screaming RA. But we're not advocating betting, but we are advocating to watch the Tigers. And you got a doubleheader the next couple of nights here. LSU men's got to take care of business. I like them by 6, 85-79. Marshall Graves is going to hit a 3-ball tonight. Hadn't been playing much, but remember I told you this. He's going to hit a 3-ball tonight, and we're taping early, not at 8 o'clock after the game. And I do hope that they'll hold on because Coach Wade has said you get sloppy at the end of the games, you're going to run until your tongue comes out of your mouth.
That's right. We have a lot more here on Tigers Roar, including a lot of baseball. Coach Paul Maneri will hear from some players. And they have a new hitting coach over at Alex Box, Eddie Smith, the guy that played for Maneri at Notre Dame, who's super smart, intelligent. All the players like him. Coach Maneri said he might be his Joe Brady. So we'll hear from Coach Maneri right after this break. We're right here on Tigers Roar. We're at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. The seafood is back. It smells like boiled crawfish in here. And let me tell you, it is good and spicy, and they are a great size. Come check it out right here at Scoreboards. Come back after this break right here on Tigers Roar.
Remember what these trips were like before you put the screens in the back seats?
I don't want to think about it.
Are we there yet? I'm hungry. Where are we?
Go, go, go. That game should keep them occupied.
Oh, yeah! Dad!
Oh, in your face!
Don't make me get back there.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at scoreboards. Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach?
Mm-hmm.
Told you.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. I'm Jonathan Poche. He's Buddy Songy. It's time to talk some LSU baseball. Last season, 2019, went 40-26, 17-13 in SEC. Got bounced out the Super Regional by Mike Martin and FSU Seminoles in 2 games in Baton Rouge. Coach Minari looking to bounce back in 2020.
You know, I was looking at the stats, and I remember they weren't great last year. We just looked them up. LSU hit 273 as a team. Now look, in college, you ought to hit 290 plus every year, and the good teams really hover around 300. Eddie Smith is coming in. Obviously, he led Tulane to all kinds of record-breaking stats offensively. One of the most important things that I think we all talked about last year, got to take some patience pills up at the plate.
Yeah.
You know, Todd Walker for many times would be on our show and say, look, man, make the guy throw you something that you can hit. Don't just swing at the first pitch. And so more patience, more driving of the baseball. 64 home runs last year for LSU. They gave up 63. But here's the other stat. So I'm going to predict they're going to hit 290 or above. But I'm also going to predict that if their ERA is anything close to what it was last year, then Tiger fans will be ordering Omaha steaks via the internet and not eating them in Omaha. 4.64 team ERA. That's not Alan Dunn-like. That's not Paul Mainieri-like. That's not LSU-like. And this pitching staff is loaded.
Yep.
You just hope that they can keep them healthy because they've got a ton of arms. And oh, by the way, they finally got a couple lefties.
That's right. LSU pitching staff needs to stay healthy in order for the Tigers to have a real shot to go to Omaha. But they have a lot of turnover this season. As in a lot of years, they lost a lot of talent to the pros. Josh Smith, Antoine Duplantis, Chris Reed, the professional hitter. There will be needing some RBIs from some other guys to compete. But Eddie Smith, hopefully he's the guy to replace what is in the past and move forward for LSU.
Daniel Cabrera did actually play a little center field in the fall, but they're going to have him at right field. DeGiacomo and Mo Hampton in center. Drew Bianco, who can hit the long ball, probably at left field. Of course, got a guy, Zach Mathis, who's tearing him up right now. He's playing at third base. Obviously, Hal Hughes, we know is a great defensive player. He's hitting a little bit better at shortstop. Gavin Dugas at second, Cade Beloso at first, and then the catchers, Saul Garza, Alex Milazzo, little bitty guy from Zachary who can really throw people out. That's the other stat that you'll never see again with LSU baseball in history.
Right.
What was it? Almost 90% success rate on people stealing on LSU. They'll do a better job of that. They've got some candidates for obviously DHing, and we'll hear with Coach Minary as he starts talking about weekend starters, the bullpen and all of that. So right now I like them ranked a little bit lower than normal, and if they can keep these pitchers' arms. Now you may go to the box and eat popcorn and a hot dog and some peanuts, but it might be a 4-2 game instead of 7-5 this year.
Right, a lot of undue pressure being a great preseason number one. LSU never really lived up to that, didn't score enough runs, didn't get enough guys out. You mentioned the ERA during the break, +4, not good enough. LSU did deal with a lot of injuries to that pitching staff. You mentioned the lefties, didn't have a single one on that pitching staff last season. That will be different this year, along with a lot more things. Coach Minary is still riding the wave of that 2019 football championship. You know, he's a big college football fan, big LSU fan of Coach O. He gave his congratulations during his press conference. It's how it started, and we have it right here for you. Here's Coach Minary here on Tigers Roar.
Hey, it's so great to be back and get ready to start a season. This is, I was wondering what to say initially. I was asking a few of the guys out here, is everybody still hungover from football, or are you ready to start talking about some baseball? I mean, what a year it's been. What a season. I mean, more than anything, I'm a college football fan and an LSU football fan, and so I was getting just as much enjoyment out of it as everybody out there and maybe even the media. What a phenomenal season, and obviously my personal congratulations to Coach O and to the football team. And, you know, we have a player on the football team, Mo Hampton, and he thinks life is easy. You know, one semester in college, never lost a game. You know, he's just going to win a national championship every semester. I gave a talk yesterday, and somebody, of course, the first question, which I get all the time, is, are you going to be able to repeat what Coach O did this fall? Are you going to be able to repeat it this spring? And I told everybody, absolutely. I promise you we're going to win 15 games or more this year, okay? It was obviously a phenomenal run, and I met with the team the day after. On Tuesday, we were allowed to have a team meeting but not practice until Wednesday. And as I stood there addressing my team for the first time, it almost didn't feel like baseball season. You know, it was just such a euphoric feeling from what the football team did this fall, and I'm just so proud of them and just happy for what they did. It's really been an amazing year so far. You look at basketball, undefeated in the SEC. Women's basketball is having a phenomenal year. Gymnastics, undefeated, ranked second in the country. Our softball team, I don't know if the rankings have come out, but I know they were picked to finish third or something in the SEC. They're always having a great team. I know Beth is excited about her team this year. Really, across the board, LSU athletics has never been stronger. It's exciting to be around here, and now it's time for the baseball program to uphold their end of it as well. So I'm excited about our team this year. You know, we got a lot of great kids, a lot of young kids, a veteran pitching staff. There's a lot of things that make us very excited about this year. Before I go into the team, though, I just would like to acknowledge that we have two legends, two members of the College Baseball Hall of Fame here with us today. Of course, the greatest coach in the history of the sport. We finally have a statue at the facility that bears his name. Of course, the great Skip Bertman is here. Thanks for being here, Skip. And probably one of the greatest hitters in the history of college baseball. He used to be known as one of the greatest hitters. Now he's just known as the father of an LSU student. But Todd Walker is here today, so thanks a lot for coming by, Todd. So anyway, you know, this, as I was thinking about how I was going to present this to you all today about our team, and I realized that it hasn't been often in the 14 years that I've been here where I stood in front of you and there's just so many unknowns about a team as we have this year with our position players. Our pitching staff is a veteran pitching staff. We have 16 pitchers on the team. We only have 3 new pitchers, so 13 veteran guys. And it just so happens that the 3 new guys are all left-handers. So we're excited about adding some left-handed pitching to the staff. But when you look at the position players, obviously we lost 3 major players last year, and Josh Smith, Zach Watson, and what was that other guy's name? He only led the got the most hits in the history of our program, Antoine Duplantis. So filling those holes is obviously going to be huge. And then we had other guys like Chris Reed and Brant Broussard and so forth that played big roles on our team. So we have a lot of new guys, a lot of new position players. I'm still waiting to see which players are going to rise above others and make a statement that they should be starting players. We went through fall practice. Many of them, all of them actually, showed great things, just not consistently. So one day they'd be great, the next day not so, and another guy would emerge. And so we've got a lot of competition still that's going to be determining our starting lineup as we go through these next 3 weeks. I think last year when I stood in front of you, I probably gave you the starting lineup for opening night. I can't even come close to doing that with you right now. So this next 3 weeks is going to be interesting to see. I can tell you what the position battles look like if you'd like me to, and you can ask those specific questions and I'll address them as best I can. But while we're trying to and even after this, I should say it this way, even after the season begins, there's going to be some fluidity to our lineup. I don't think the lineup we start with on opening day is going to be the everyday lineup for 56 games and then the national championship game. There's going to be different opportunities for different guys throughout the year. But while we're trying to figure out the right combination and putting the pieces of the puzzle together in the lineup, I do think that our pitching staff is going to be of the level that it's going to allow us to win games even while we're learning about our team because of the veteran quality of the team, the quality of the pitchers themselves. And I think we're ready to kind of get back to that position where we have an outstanding pitching staff like we did in Allen's first 6 years here. I think these last 2 years have been a little bit of an aberration. So I'm not going to go over the entire team. I'll let you guys ask questions, and we'll see if we can kind of cover all the bases as I take your questions.
Coach,
Yes.
losing Josh at shortstop, kind of a captain on the infield. Who do you look to be the captain on the infield?
Yeah, so our infield is the most inexperienced group that we have out there. We only have one returning infielder from last year's team, and that's Hal Hughes. Hal, of course, is a fine defensive player. He's got some limitations. I mean, he's not the fastest guy in the world. Everybody knows that, and he's not the best hitter in the world. But I think he's a pretty steady shortstop and makes the routine play for us. And if on a given day that's what we need is to have a shortstop to make the routine play for us and have some scrappy at bats, and Hal will be the guy. But I'm looking more at the infield as a whole. Okay, so we recruited. You may remember, if you think back to last June, we had recruited a player, Christian Cairo, who was supposed to come to school and then changed his mind once he got here and ended up signing professionally. So we had to go out and scramble that summer. And instead of getting one player to replace Christian, we actually went out and signed 2 players last summer. The first player we signed was a kid named Zach Mathis. And remember how I just mentioned a few minutes ago that none of the players really emerged and showed that they deserve to be everyday players? Well, he's the one exception to that. Zach Mathis is going to play for us. He's going to probably bat 3-hole. He reminds me a lot of Josh Smith, in all honesty. He could play shortstop for us. That's been his position his whole career. He could play it and do an adequate job. I don't think he'd be a guy with great range either. Or, he's going to right now. I would hope that he's going to be our third baseman. But he's a very good defensive player. He can really hit. He's going to be our 3-hole hitter. So when I think of a replacement for Josh, even though it's a different position, I think that Zach Mathis has those qualities. It can be a real leader. The other player we signed in the summer that I was really high on, this kid was a kid by the name of Zach Arnold from San Diego, California. But this young man has had the worst luck. In the third day of fall practice, he broke a rib. It took him 8 to 10 weeks for the rib to heal, so he missed an entire fall practice. I was excited about him getting started now in January and getting out there and competing maybe with Hal at shortstop. And then what happened was the rib just didn't heal properly, so they had to have surgery where they actually removed the rib. It's called thoracic outlet surgery. So he's now out until about the middle of March. I feel bad for the kid. I think he's got a lot of talent, and he's going to have a chance to really help our program once he comes back. In the meantime, we've got an infielder by the name of Collier Cranford from Zachary. Collier played in the fall, but he had Tommy John surgery in March of his senior year in high school. So he played in the games this fall, the scrimmages, without being able to throw a ball. So he did everything but being able to throw. So I really didn't get a good look at him at shortstop. So he's been out there as well along with Hal, and they're kind of battling it out. I could always move Mathis to short if we want to, but we just got to see how it kind of plays out. I would venture to say that Hal will be in there on opening day, and we'll see how it goes from there.
That was part one of Coach Paul Maneri's opening press conference for the 2020 season. Coach Maneri can talk for a while. We'll get you some more Maneri later on in this program. You heard him talk some position battles. Hal Hughes will have to have a big year filling the shoes of Josh Smith at shortstop.
Of course, he was deadpanning and talking about LSU football winning 15 games, and we know that I didn't even remember the record until you spit it out, 40 and 26 and 17 and 13. 20 and 10, usually the barometer. Yeah. If you're there in the conference, you got a chance to host a regional and a super regional. Want to be in the top 2 or 3 in the conference to be one of the super regional hosts and national seeds with 8, and it's going to be interesting. Offensively in football, it was incredible. This year, baseball, you could have an incredible year throwing, and they will be better throwing runners out. But once again, timely hitting, playing smart ball, and we'll let you hear from Cabrera, Eddie Smith, and Mo Hampton later on in the show.
That's right. Don't go anywhere. When we come back here on Tigers Roar, you'll hear from the new hitting coach of the LSU Tigers, Eddie Smith. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it. He is a good interview, very intelligent man. We'll let you guys hear from him right here on Tigers Roar.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Remember the smell of vinyl? What happened to all your old records? Lost in a move? Thrown out by the ex? Get them back. Classic Vinyl's record store and collectibles, 13847 Coursey, where you can find all old vinyl, all genres of music, rock, country, blues, and R&B. Classic Vinyls and collectibles behind Mary Lee Donuts and Coursey. If they don't have it, they'll get it. Look for them on Facebook. Classic Vinyls, sponsors of Classic Vinyls Classic Rock Night Thursdays at Scoreboards on Coursey.
I'll leave for a little while, and all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. none issues even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now, I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
We're here on Tigers Roar at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. It is seafood night here. Come get you some boiled seafood. Watch the LSU game. They tip off at 6 o'clock against Alabama. We're still talking baseball. LSU has a new hitting coach replacing Sean Ochinko with Eddie Smith, a guy that Paul Maneri has known for a long time. He says he gets along great with the players. He has a great approach. Going to change the team approach at the plate, which I think is something that needs to happen.
No doubt about it. Look, 273 is not good enough. LSU as a batting average. I really expect it to go up 15 percentage points or more. And you knew this, but I didn't remember it. Antoine Duplantis and Cabrera each hit 12 home runs last year. 64 total. They gave up 63. I'd love to see LSU get 75 or 80, and we'll see. Saul Garza going to catch halfway through, and then Alex Milazzo and others. But as you mentioned, a big name, two big guys that we're waiting to see in the bullpen. Fontenot's going to be one of the best closers in the country.
That's right.
But Jaden Hill, who pitched a little bit and got hurt, and Nick Starrs, both these guys, Hill 6'4", Starrs 6'6". Can't wait to see LSU with some dominating presence on the mound. But this next guy is going to be the real key because we know you got to manufacture runs and have that timely hitting.
That's right. Coach Paul Maneri says Eddie Smith might be his version of Joe Brady. So I'll let you guys hear from him right now so you can get to know him. Here is hitting coach for the LSU Tigers, Eddie Smith, right here on Tigers Roar.
Well, I had an opportunity to come in to LSU, and I think, when you coach in college baseball, LSU is looked at as the pinnacle of college baseball from all different corners of the country. And, this chance to come here and work with Coach Maneri, who was my coach when I played at Notre Dame, was something that was really special, and it's just been an awesome experience.
Paul Maneri said that last year, Daniel Cabrera would be the first to tell you that he wasn't really up to his standards, but he expects this year to be kind of his huge year. What kind of adjustments did you make with him, trying to shorten up his swing?
Well, I tell you, Daniel Cabrera has put in a lot of work all year long. He's down in the cages more than anybody we have on this team, getting after it, perfecting his swing, and I think we're all excited for a really big year out of Daniel going forward here.
Could you go big picture with us and kind of take us through what your approach might be and what you and Coach Maneri have kind of figured out would be the best approach for the team?
Well, I think the thing that we've talked about as a team all year is wanting to score runs. So often in baseball, the focus has been on batting average, home runs, and that sort of thing. As a team, we've made a focus on scoring runs. What causes runs scored? And really what we found is extra base hits and walks to be the big keys of scoring runs. And that's the things that we've really promoted all year long, is really making an effort to get our pitch as an offense, as a hitter. And with getting our pitch, it'll create some more plate discipline, and then also lead to more extra base hits.
So maybe a little bit more patient at the plate and aggressive once you're on the bag?
Well, certainly, I think of it as a controlled aggression. You know, I think of it something where you're very, very aggressive to a specific pitch when you have less than 2 strikes on you. And I think it's really important to be aggressive to that pitch, but also be able to stop yourself in that aggression so that you're not swinging at the pitcher's pitch. If you swing at the pitcher's pitch, you're going to get the pitcher's result. We want our result, so we want to swing at our pitch.
Coach, you think it was a little unusual when a coach leaves a paying job to be a volunteer? That raised a few eyebrows.
I think that just speaks to LSU, the history of this program, and the level of this league and the great things that are going on in college baseball right now.
Any second guessing about?
No, I've loved.
No, I'm not talking about you, but I'm just talking about it. It is an unusual circumstance.
Oh, it's unusual, but I think it's becoming more and more common in the game right now with the way that the game has moved over the last 5 years.
Coach, what was the key to Cody Hosey's success last year? What did you see? Do you see that type of opportunity coming here? With these areas here.
You know, I think much like I just mentioned with Daniel, Cody Hosey put in a tremendous amount of effort for 2 years. The work that goes unseen was his sophomore year when he went from being a hitter who was a little bit out of control with the swing to really, really fine-tuning it, having a pretty good year. And then he grew into his body. He just became a little bit more mature and confident. And what a year he had. And there's nobody that you pull for more than Cody Hosey. And certainly it's something that we would love to have our players have that sort of success. Every one of them have the kind of explosion and development that Cody had. He did an outstanding job for us last year, and certainly use him as an example for these guys at times.
What's the process like of you developing a relationship with the different hitters? When they're in a downswing, how you can help them pick up and hit better. So what's that relationship like in terms of developing it so that when a guy's in a slump, you have the camaraderie with him to be able to tell him, here, you should do this or do that?
Well, I think that, like any relationship, it begins with trust. And from the time I got here, that was a point of mine to develop a relationship with these players, to gain their trust so that I could trust them and they could trust me. When I got the job here, I was fortunate to be able to go see a lot of these guys play in their summer leagues, have dinner with them in my first few weeks here, because I wanted to establish that trust among each other that, hey, we're in this together. And from there, once you have that trust, I think it's trying things. It's a team effort where, we're in the fight together. And I hope that every one of them feels that way, that we both have the same goal. We want to win national championships, and we want to develop them to be the best player that they could possibly be. How do we get there? And it's a collaborative effort to, put our heads together, put our minds together, and our thoughts together, where their heart is in whatever they're doing to try to be the best player they could possibly be.
Do you preach incremental improvement, Coach? When you measure a guy and how he's moving forward, how do you do that?
I think measuring a baseball player's development is one of the toughest things to do, because it's a game where you develop in small increments every single day. And sometimes there's setbacks along the way. There's a learning curve to some things that you might be doing. A golfer, for example, who's trying to improve. Hey, he might go out his first time ever playing, he shoots 100, and then he shoots 95, then he shoots 90. But all of a sudden, as he improves and improves and improves, he shoots an 80, and then a 79, but then an 81, and then maybe a 78, 79. And it's that incremental thing. It's the same thing in hitting. We just don't have as clear of a scoreboard. And so I think that for us, it's just a matter of bringing an effort every single day that's consistent, an energy that's consistent, working toward something that's going to make that individual better.
Paul kept the pressure on you in his press conference. You might that's some heat right away on you.
Well, gosh, I think what an exciting time to be at LSU, and I'll tell you, I'd be crazy if I wasn't paying close attention to what that team was doing over there in their preparation and how they handled their season and their success. And certainly a fun team to be a fan of, but I think when you're a coach, you always pay attention to teams in a little bit different way, and that team was a really fun one to be around.
What is your relationship so far with Daniel Cabrera, and just how pleasing is it for him to be number 8 in the locker room?
Oh, Daniel's been awesome. We talked on the phone, I think maybe my first or second day on the job, and then I spent some time with him up in Cape Cod this summer. We've just had a really good relationship, where he's always bouncing ideas off of me, and maybe I'll suggest something here and there to him. he's such a mature hitter. He's a mature person, a mature baseball player that at this point is coming in and, seeing what he needs and trying to offer whatever he needs to be the best player that he could possibly be.
How do you make Mo Hampton, I guess, make such a quick transition? Obviously, he has the want to immediately make, as soon as football's over, he walks right in the next day and ready to go.
Yeah, what an athlete Mo is, and I think, he's even a better person. And I think that's going to be a huge part of this transition for him, where he'll be able to have the skills that carry him to be able to have, the opportunity to compete for us. But probably more importantly, he's going to get after it every single day as a good teammate, as a player that puts forward a great effort every day. And those are the things combined with the skill that are going to allow him to potentially have some success here really early on.
But how pleasing is it just that you go to DC, he comes back the next day, and he took it right back to practice. Even before that, he wanted to skip. Just how pleasing is it to have that work ethic from a young guy like that?
It's outstanding, and it's refreshing, and I appreciate it. But the other thing I would say is I think we're surrounded here by 35 guys with that sort of mentality and work ethic. Not to take anything away from Mo, but it's a great thing about this program is we have a lot of guys here eager to work.
LSU looking to change their approach at the plate, hitting-wise, going to take some more pitches. You heard Coach Eddie Smith talk about walks and extra base hits, and that's really where runs in college baseball comes from. It also comes from taking advantage of the base pass, really working, pressing the pitcher and the catcher for the opposing team in order for them to make mistakes and give pitches that these players can hit. If you hit your pitch, Ted Williams always said the biggest part of hitting is getting a pitch you can hit, pitch you can handle. And I think that is very true. Can't be swinging outside the zone. Wait for your pitch early and count. If it's not right there, you can take it. You can live the fight another day.
I think it's gambling a little bit when you do a parallel to Joe Brady.
Right.
But I do think Eddie Smith is going to bring a different mindset. And I loved it in that interview because, let's be honest, LSU was out of control at the plate last year. And I think that patience and being a little more selective and obviously, like you said, with Hughes, it's not such a bad idea to work on Hughes with the button because he didn't even hit the Mendoza line last year, 174, hoping that Hughes can get in the 230 to 250 range this year.
If he can contribute at the bottom of that lineup, LSU will be dangerous. They will hit more home runs this year, as we alluded to. We're going to change gears a little bit from baseball. We have Mike Scarborough of Type8.com. We'll talk to him about the hiring of Bo Pelini coming back to LSU to be the defensive coordinator, where he was 2005, 2007. He's been the head coach at the Youngstown Penguins the last 5 years. That team has a winning record, not by much, but he's done what he could do with that squad. LSU a top 3 defense all 3 seasons. Bo Pelini was the head of the defense, won that championship 2007. So he has the LSU pedigree. He wears his heart on his sleeve, a lot like some Louisianas out there. LSU gets their man in Bo Pelini at defensive coordinator.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It'll be interesting. 13 years since he's been in Tiger Town. Also, a week from tonight, the second signing period in football. We'll talk to Mike when we get him on the phone. Coming right back from Tiger's Roar. Don't forget the seafood is back over here at Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come see us tonight or anytime this weekend. Back, and I hand it off to JP on a Wednesday.
That was a great job, Bud, man. Come back and join us right here at Tiger's Roar. You heard from the Bud man himself. We're at Scoreboards. Come check it out. We're here each and every Wednesday about 5:15 to 6:45. We tape the show here every Wednesday. Following us, you have the taping of Overtime with Athletic Director Roman Beck. So there's a lot going on Wednesdays, including that great seafood. Come check it out. Come back right after this break right here on Tiger's Roar.
Taste the feeling.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bellello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For Total Pest Control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS. And we welcome you back. Happy Hump Night, everybody. Tigers Roar on a Wednesday night. Buddy Songy with Jonathan Poche. And we hand off the football with our recruiting guru. Been doing it a long time. Mike Scarborough with TigerBait.com will tell you how you can get involved with Tiger Bait. He has had an incredible year. And JP, he does it all. You get the interviews, you get the photos, you get the practice updates. And he's been breaking a lot of scoop. I don't know how much Baskin-Robbins he's been eating, but has had a lot of scoop. So let's get right to the scoop, Mike. McKinley Jackson, big D lineman from Mississippi, and Jordan Birch on an unofficial visit. Supposed to be a secret, but everybody in the capital city not only knew he was coming in, but knew where they were eating. Give us the latest on what happened this weekend and if there are, in fact, any official visitors for this final weekend.
No official visitors
as of now for this coming weekend. So it looks like the main focus are the two you talked about, McKinley Jackson from Mississippi, George County, Coach Orgeron and Christian Locatour and Coach Bill Johnson there yesterday. Had lunch with him at Aunt Jenny's Country Buffet, and that's how I got tipped off about it. A girlfriend of mine has family in the area and had actually liked their Facebook page. She saw their pictures, so she sent it to me, and then an hour or two later, here comes the photos of him at the nursing center, and those coaches going to greet the residents there and making their day brighter, and that was really a special thing yesterday. So not sure if LSU ends up with McKinley Jackson. Certainly he was committed there before. He's been to LSU multiple times. They've done a lot of great work in recruiting him. He's at A&M officially this weekend, was at Alabama for an unofficial visit the weekend before his official to LSU this past weekend. And I think both he and Jordan Birch are excited about Bo Pelini coming in the new 4-3. Jacoby Guillory drove down from Alexandria to help recruit those two. Jaquelin Roy, of course, was there for his visit. And so we'll see how it plans out. I mean, there's a scenario where they could get both those guys. They could split, or maybe they could, lose both of them. So we'll see how it plays out. I know South Carolina Gamecock fans, and one of my guys has covered that recruiting beat for years. They're on pins and needles over there because they want to hold on to him.
Yeah, Mike, you hit on a key point there with Bo Pelini being hired. So first of all, the official announcement was after the weekend, but certainly they had to be telling these two recruits that Pelini comes in. Now, Pelini's played the 3-4 before. He's also played the 4-3. You specifically think both Birch and Jackson are better fits in a 4-3. Talk a little bit about that right now.
Yeah, look, a lot of defensive linemen are really, it's one of those things, and we got a Q&A on the website with Marlon Favorite that I did a good big interview with him yesterday. I think I have some more to add to it. A lot of defensive linemen, are going to be excited about Pelini coming in because he showcases defensive linemen. For years before Aranda, linebackers were really not a focus or a showcase of the LSU defense, and it's only been in recent years where those guys have come more into focus. Of course, and you think back to the years of Pelini at LSU 05-07, where you had Dorsey, Tyson Jackson, Favorite, Kirsten Pittman, and all the Charles Alexander, all those guys. I think that's why there's excitement. I mean, you got Andre Anthony tweeting about how he's so excited to get his hand back in the dirt. And so I think that's going to bode well for LSU with defensive line recruiting. Mason Smith next year. Of course, Corey Foreman committed to Clemson this past week, and we'll see if that one's over with. But, I think that all of a sudden there's a renewed enthusiasm by defensive linemen with LSU because they know that they're going to be bringing pressure and they're going to be asked to do more.
And of course, JP and Mike, LSU did get a couple verbal commitments. Both of them can run. In fact, JP and I were kidding. Both these guys are as fast as TK, trucking down Airline Highway trying to get a hold of a 5-pound pack of Manda hoghead cheese. That's fast. TK can run fast when there's hoghead cheese involved. But Alex Adams and obviously Trey Bradford talk a little bit about the receiver from Mississippi and the running back. JP was talking about in his films. We didn't see anybody catching these two guys, Mike. I know LSU likes them a lot.
So TK can move his 310 pounds when he needs to.
We never talk about weight or age or any of that other stuff, Mike. Come on. He's your friend, man.
Yeah. What was the question again?
Talk a little bit about these two offensive verbal commitments and what they bring to the table.
Yeah, look, obviously LSU needed a running back, and Bradford at 5'11", 195, 10'4", 10'5", 100-meter guy, 4x100 track guy. catches the ball really well. We put his video up on the site with the news of him likely being the guy, and then of course he ended up being a commitment. And guys started watching his film and saying, "Boy, he sure is reminiscent of Travis Etienne." And when you look at it, there is some similarity there. We were talking on the break. When you watch his film, it looks like he's jogging, but in reality, he's moving because of the way he runs. They're very excited to get him. Tom Herman, Dan Mullen, and many others were trying to get on him hard in the last few weeks. But LSU had really done their homework and stayed on him for months. And so the kid's excited. His family came in, had a great visit, and it was done deal. No fanfare, no hats on a table. If you look at that kid's footprint on social media, he's just not that kind of kid. So Coach Tommy Robinson and the staff did a good job on him.
Mike, talking about the receiver, Alex Adams, he's joining a group with some experience. Of course, you bring back Chase from last year. McMaster's going to play a bigger role. You also signed Moore and Booty. It's going to be a good group of wide receivers for LSU Tigers next season. Yeah. Look, they wanted another guy and another one that you watch his film, and they're very excited about him. I never got to see him at a camp, but his production is obviously there, and you like his size.
Yeah, Racey McMath obviously going to get some opportunities, but don't sleep on Trey Palmer. That is a young man I think's got a chance after he's had a year in the system. And of course, Mike, we can't let you go without asking about, do you think they keep one scholarship available just in case a grad transfer a la Joe Burrow falls into their lap, or do they want to sign all 25 this year?
No, I think they hold one back, and is there a possibility there's actually two being held back? Is it one held back, and then Cameron Jackson, doesn't get what he needs, and then all of a sudden there's two? Or is that doesn't matter because LSU gets both Birch and McKinley Jackson? The word I got this evening was things are in flux. Are we all of a sudden this time next week talking about a surprise a la Foster Morrow or Cushenberry, the guys that we weren't talking about the week before signing day?
Only in America, JP. Cushenberry, nobody talked about him, signs the morning of. And the same thing with Foster Morrow, who got a phone call at 10 o'clock, was going to sign with Tulane. Morrow's playing for the Raiders, and Cushenberry was able to wear 18 at the Senior Bowl and was one of the better linemen. So forget the ratings. If you can play, the NFL will find you, Mike.
Yeah, and I tell you what, at media day for the national championship game, the comments that Coach Ensminger had to say about how valuable Lloyd Cushenberry was with his intelligence and all the calls that he had to make and running the offense and things that he had to do at the line of scrimmage, it's a great story.
Mike, coming down to the wire, the final signing day is in a week. Who are some guys keeping an eye on for a late push for LSU to sign?
Yeah, that's the big question. It's like I said, it's an unknown right now. As of now, no official visits for this weekend. Is there a chance all of a sudden there's a kid who does come in for an official visit, or a couple of kids, or does it stay vacant? I think they're working out all those details now, but it's a strong recruiting class, and it can only get better. But then LSU can also be in a good spot. We got the spring practice football dates posted today, so they get to go into spring practice, possibly with a spot or two. You get some new coaches in there, and all of a sudden they get to say, you know what, that on signing day we thought we had everything we needed, but we actually need a guy at this spot, and it's a good thing we have this grad transfer thing. Let's see what we can get in the portal.
Hey, final one from me, Mike. And I got this after you were on today, but people want to know about 2021 class. Is it loaded in this state? Will they go out of state? And who are the big names? I know you mentioned Mason, but just how loaded is this state for 2021?
Hey, look, there's some very good players. Certainly Kane Williams at safety, Sage Ryan at safety. I got a story coming on him. Lafayette Christian. Mason Smith, top player in the state, defensive lineman. Obviously the wide receivers, Brian Thomas at Walker. Chris Hilton, the big guy at wide receiver, track guy at Zachary, putting up crazy numbers in track again. So receivers, but I do think they're going to continue the trend of recruiting nationally, and I don't think that's going to change. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the percentage of out-of-state players to Louisiana, once the dust settles on the 21 class, if it's not similar to the class of 2020.
All right, I know a lot of people jumped on with a Christmas present, giving a yearly membership to those LSU loved ones who care about recruiting. Talk about what you got starting the new year off over at tigerbait.com.
Yeah, look, certainly we're a subscription-based website, but I tell you, we probably put up more free content on the site as we do premium these days. And of course, our Tiger Den premium message board is really blossoming with a lot of great conversation. And $1 gets you on the site to try us out for a week. Best looking website for LSU sports that loads on your mobile phone. So go to tigerbait.com and try a subscription to Tigerbait. We love to have all LSU fans as a premium subscriber.
Hey man, it's crazy, JP and Mike, to think about it. Another signing period. Mike, I guess the final question, how soon does the national championship impact recruiting? Do you get the immediate benefits next Wednesday? Is everybody happy as a lark, or do you think they reap more in 21 class off of this championship team?
Well, I think they reap more in the 21 class. Your 20 class are happy, the ones that you got on December 18th. We'll see what happens with Birch and McKinley Jackson, but it's going to be 21, and of course all eyes now are on Caleb Williams, the 5-star quarterback from Washington, D.C., who this weekend is going to Oklahoma for an unofficial visit. He was at Clemson last weekend, and but he's the guy that I think can really start things off, and we'll see if he does indeed make an early decision like we think he's going to.
Sounds great, Mike. We look forward to speaking with you next week to find out how it all came to an end. Certainly appreciate your contribution here on Tiger Jordan.
All right, look forward to it. We'll have it all at Tiger Bait.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Mike.
And you know, it's amazing now when you have this early signing period in December. And the crazy thing this year, of course, is that they took, we thought they'd take a couple more, but they didn't. But pretty darn solid. I can't wait to see Eric Gilbert in spring ball.
Right.
He is going to be potentially the greatest tight end you've ever seen.
Yeah.
This guy is a beast. And I like the fact that Thad Moss was so involved at the end of the year.
That's a great point. Come back here on Tiger Show. We'll talk some more baseball. Don't go anywhere. Come right back and join us. He's Buddy Songy. I'm Jonathan Poche, and this is Tiger Shore.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-383-8177, 800-383-8177.
Super E, we have a new client to sign. You need to fly out to meet them right away.
I'm on it. Up, anyway.
Okay, who closed these windows?
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down.
Taste the feeling.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. Junior outfielder Daniel Cabrera did struggle last year at times. Hit 12 home runs, was tied for the lead for the team. Only batted .284, had 12 doubles. Looking for Eddie Smith to kind of change his approach and get him hitting the ball hard to the outfield.
I got him over 300 this year, and certainly one of the guys that could lead LSU in home runs. LSU, Alabama tonight. Don't forget overtime show coming up right after our show. And we're going to hear from Daniel Cabrera.
Right.
I think Eddie Smith is a great fit for him to come in here. You just got to tweak him a little bit.
Coach Pollinari said he did move Cabrera back to right field. That's where it'll be opening day. Here is junior outfielder Daniel Cabrera.
I've never gone through something like that before in my life. It kind of has been smooth sailing for me, and I'm disappointed in the year, but I'm kind of okay with having that because I've grown from it. I became a better player. It's made me kind of sit back and relax and see what I got to do to get out of slumps, and it's just kind of made me a better player.
Just I mean, I know everyone wants to hit. Do you think you, Beloso, Garza, that's where the power's going to come from?
I mean, we got a lot of guys that can swing the bat on this team. Eddie Smith, he's helped us out a lot this fall and so far. And I mean, I think some people might surprise us this year. I mean, we got a lot of power. We got a lot of new guys, and I'm just excited about this year.
Several people have said our Joe Brady.
Oh yeah, Eddie's awesome. He's one of the smartest baseball minds I think I've ever talked to, and he's always bringing those positive vibes to the field. He's ready to work. He's never sleeping. He's 100% right when we step here, and it's awesome to have him, and he's a good pickup for us.
What did you know about him prior to him coming here? know much about him?
I did not, and I saw that we hired him, and we kind of talked on the phone a little bit. Then once we got here, he was ready to go, and it was awesome. He has us ready, and we're excited for this year.
Do you know Cody Hosey? Does he mention that last year?
Yeah, we've talked about him a little bit, and he just said what he did with him, and it's pretty cool how he helped him out, and I think he's going to help out this team a lot.
The pitching staff, it seems like Coach said that they could kind of carry the way early on. The lineup figures itself out. Is that what you're kind of seeing out of this guy?
I mean, just our thing is just do your role. Don't try to do too much. Just stay within yourself. And I mean, some days the pitchers might kind of carry that game in the low-scoring games, and sometimes it might be a high-scoring game, and the hitters have to kind of figure it out. And sometimes it might be a defensive game, and it's just kind of just do your role, and whatever happens, just try to find a way to win.
Eric Walker, a guy who's pitched in Omaha, he's your midweek starter. That kind of speaks to your depth, huh?
I mean, I don't think Coach hasn't told us kind of the roles of the team yet, so we still got, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks until the season, so we're just kind of taking it day by day and just seeing who fits best in which roles.
Sorry if you got the question already, but what does wearing that number mean to you as far as being a leader and stepping up this year?
Oh, it's honestly unreal, because just knowing that Antoine wanted to pass it down to me, and you just look at the previous guys that's worn 8 and how they've represented this program on and off the field, it's kind of special knowing that they wanted me to represent it. It's an honor, and it's kind of different for me too, because I've worn number 2 my entire life. This is the first time I'm wearing a different number, but it's something I couldn't pass up on, and I was honored to get the chance to represent it.
How does this year feel different from last year in terms of, I think last media day was the last day you guys were allowed to say national championship because you were ranked number 1 in Omaha. It's always an expectation, but this year it feels like more of a, we're going to actually take this one game at a time. Does it feel different in that regard?
No, I mean, Coach has always told us since I've been here, it's one game at a time. If you look at Omaha, you're going to pass up all those 56 games in the regular season plus SEC tournament and regional, super regional. So we gotta look at February 14th against Indiana. They're a great program. They got a great history, and take it one day at a time. And honestly, one practice at a time. We still got 3 or 4 weeks till the season, so we just gotta take it one day at a time and see who fits which roles and can keep competing.
What was Antoine's advice to you about the number 8?
Just keep being myself. I'm not really the vocal guy, but if you're doing something wrong, I'm going to tell you. I want you to play the game the right way, but I'm still going to treat everybody the same way. I'm going to treat a freshman the same way as a senior or junior. I don't care if you've been here for 3 years and started all 3 years, or this is your first year. Everybody gets a chance. Just keep competing. You're not handed anything to you. You got to keep competing, and this team's, we have a goal, and just keep those in mind.
Talk to Mo about the natty?
Yeah, that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, maybe. I mean, he went to go meet the president. That's special for him and the football team, and they deserve it. I mean, they kind of proved themselves this year, and I mean, that's our goal. I mean, we want to win a national championship, but we got to take it one day at a time.
Sorry if you could ask this, but has Antoine given you any advice about the number 8 and everything?
Yeah, we talked. We were hitting a bunch during this break, taking fly balls together, and he just said, just keep doing my thing. Just keep being myself. You don't have to do anything different, anything special. Just keep doing your thing on the field, represent LSU on and off the field, and just be a good teammate.
Yeah, Paul has mentioned a lot that your speed is improved, kind of helping you on the defense, but also on the bags as well.
Yeah.
Talk about what you've done this offseason to really improve your.
When I went to the Cape this summer, one of my things I wanted to do that I haven't really done here is get the chance to steal bags, and I think I was like 12 or 13 on stolen bags this summer. So that was one thing on my game I wanted to improve on, and I felt like I did pretty well, and hopefully I can carry that on to the season.
I guess you adjusting going from center field for most of the fall back to right field now. Is it kind of a lot of the same similarities to playing left?
It's kind of similar to left. It's just opposite now. It's like the balls are going a little differently, but I'm fine with whatever he wants me to do. I'm going to do whatever he wants me to do to help the team. If that's playing left or right, center, whatever he wants me to do, that's what I'm going to do.
And then just kind of getting your reaction, you were named the preseason All-American.
Yeah.
Just what is that?
I mean, that's a cool honor, but at the end of the day, preseason doesn't really mean anything. It's whatever you do during the season and whatever you finish. So I'm not really worried about that. I just want to help this team out and get us ready for February 14th.
Speaking of helping, how are you going to help the rest of the other position players just get acclimated to, succeeding at the plate and just being productive people defensively?
Yeah, I think we got a good group of veterans here, and we also got Eddie Smith, and just telling them it's one day at a time. Just keep competing every day, working your butt off, and everything's gonna happen for a reason. Everything's gonna go into place. You don't have to do anything special here. You're here because you're really good, and now you just gotta take a deep breath and have fun and let it go.
What do you guys need to do collectively as a team in the next few weeks to be ready for opening day?
Just keep competing, taking it one day at a time. Don't try to do anything special to earn your way into the lineup or try to wow the coaches. Just keep doing you, and everything's gonna fall into place. And let's take every day one at a time. Worry about February 14th and not Omaha or SEC or whatever. Just February 14th against Indiana.
I noticed you wearing the white Jordans instead of the purple Nike cleats. Are we going to see some more personal shoes this season?
Yeah, I got a few personal shoes. Shoes are kind of one of my things I love. I probably have over 100 pairs of shoes, so I love shoes. And I don't know, I'm going to rock some more.
Yeah, do you feel you play differently whenever you wear your own pairs?
No, it's not flashy or anything like that. It's just me. I love shoes, and I love how they look and how they feel, so I'm just kind of a shoe geek.
Yeah, and lastly, does the weather ever determine what pair you wear? You want to save some pairs for a dry day?
No. One of the things we talk about here is we never talk about the weather. It's always a perfect day if we can play, so I'm not going to do anything different if it's a rainy day or it's hot. I'm going to wear whatever shoes I was going to wear with those uniforms.
That was junior outfielder Daniel Cabrera talking about his slump he went through last year. He was thankful for it, taught him how to deal with adversity, looking to have big numbers for the Tigers this season. You heard him say, look, there's really no pressure when you come to LSU. You're here because you're good. Just go out there and enjoy yourself playing baseball. But, man, got to get a shot of this seafood they put in front of us. It smells outstanding. Crawfish are back here at Scoreboards. Once again, it is 10655 Coursey Boulevard. There you see the crawfish, just that right shade of red. They smell amazing. Of course, you got the potatoes, the sausage, and the corn. But, man, get them while they're in front of you, because whatever you don't eat, I'm taking home to New Orleans.
Yeah, it's all for you over here at Scoreboards. Once again, LSU playing well against Bama. Not going to give you all the details. Next week, we will recap the final signing period with football recruiting and gymnastics to once again get in there Friday night. You want to beat Alabama in baskets tonight and gymnastics on Friday night.
I want to thank you guys for watching Tigers Roar. I want to thank everybody involved. Marty, our floor director, and in the truck, Alan and Greg. Couldn't do without them. Couldn't do without you. If you missed it live, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Come back and join us next week right here for a brand new episode of Tigers Roar. Once again, Buddy Songy and Jonathan Poche.